Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah and this is Jar of Fireflies. Here I make videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 4. And today I'll be answering your questions. Okay, so recently here and on Instagram, I asked you guys to submit questions for a Q&A because it's been, I don't know, a good 6 months or so since we have done one. So here we go and let's dive in. Okay, I've got some homeschooling questions, some Jewish stuff questions, and some general questions. So I'll do a few from each category here in this video, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna need to be a part 2 because there's a lot of questions that you guys submitted. Okay, first we'll start with some of the homeschooling stuff. But even if you don't homeschool, this could still definitely be interesting because some of the homeschool questions kind of have to do just with like reacting to certain things or, you know, lifestyle for us or whatever. So anyways, it might be interesting even if you don't homeschool. Okay. First question, do I plan on sending my boys to yeshiva as they get older, like for high school? Love your channel. Thank you. Okay, so yeshiva is like a boys' high school where they spend part-time learning Judaics and like studying Gemara, the Talmud, and part-time learning the regular secular studies, you know, the math, the science, the history, all that sort of thing. Okay, so do I plan on sending my boys to yeshiva? I have always said that I will homeschool as long as this works for all of my family, okay? For the boys for high school, I really see the value in the boys learning in that group environment with each other that is just way different than anything that I could offer at home. And it's so much better than what I could offer at home. So in that instance, yes, I do plan to send my boys to yeshiva. If they do Judaics at yeshiva and secular studies at home, I'm totally cool with that too. It doesn't have to be a full-time situation. I would love it if it could be part-time, so that I could continue with the secular studies with my kids. But if that's not gonna work out or if that's not a reasonable option for our family, like, I don't know, we're still several years away from high school. So it's really not super on my radar right now. But short answer, yes, but possibly yes and no. Okay, next question. Hi, Hannah. I was wondering why you don't use a Jewish school curriculum like Chabad or other community Jewish school curriculum. Okay, so Chabad doesn't offer a curriculum. What Chabad offers, Chabad is like it's like a branch of Judaism, kind of, I guess is the best way to say it. But what Chabad offers is an online school. So an online school is not exactly homeschooling. It's schooling at home, but I wouldn't be the teacher, somebody else would be the teacher, and I wouldn't have any say in the curriculum, what's being taught, any of that. So like that's not, to me, what I'm looking for in my homeschool experience for my family. So no, I don't use what Chabad offers because it's an online school, not a curriculum. As far as curriculum goes, I do use some Jewish curriculums. There's not a lot of Jewish curriculums out there that are available. There's one that I've heard of, it's like a Charlotte Mason one. It's not really a good fit for my family. There's another one that's through the Consortium of Jewish Day Schools. It's called Lahaven Lahaskell, I think. And like I have used some of their stuff. So like this is one of their Nevi things that we have used. So I definitely take advantage of resources that are available out there, but there's not like just like a whole curriculum with like math, science, Chumash, like everything. That's not out there. And then what is out there, it's kind of like you're getting like 1, maybe 2 options, and those options just might not be a good fit for your family. And those options are also designed for a classroom experience and not designed for the homeschool / one-on-one more kind of an experience. So that makes it harder to make it a good homeschool fit. Okay, another homeschooling question. Is there a Jewish school near you? Yes, there is. There are several. Second part of that question, do you think that if homeschooling became too much that you would send the children to school? That one is tricky. That one's actually tricky. So the thing is, I can outsource my house cleaning. I have a lot of it, not all of it, obviously, but you know, I have a housekeeper that comes once a week. I have outsourced a great deal of my house cleaning. You know, I could outsource the cooking. I could outsource a lot of things in my life. But I don't want to outsource my kids' education. Like that would be the last thing that I would outsource. I would outsource literally everything else before I would outsource my kids' education. I don't want my kids gone 8 hours a day. I don't want my kids spending the best hours of their day with other people. Like I want those hours with my kids. I want my kids to have those hours with me. So yeah, my kids are just going to be the last thing that I outsource. So would I send my kids to school if it became too much? Like if something terrible, God forbid, happened to me or my husband and it was no longer an option for me to homeschool, then yeah, I totally would. But I would literally outsource anything else first. Okay, last homeschooling question for now. Advice for a mom considering homeschooling but doesn't know where to start. Where and how to start researching curriculum? What age is best to start? So I think as soon as possible, start researching curriculum and things like that. Kind of start researching different styles of homeschooling. There's so much information out on the internet, and I know it can be really overwhelming. I do know a gal who is a homeschool consultant. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me and I'm happy to pass along her information to you. As far as when to homeschool your kids, I would say start as soon as possible. Like, just do it. I think it's awesome. So yeah, start the research as soon as possible. Start the homeschooling as soon as possible. Again, it's super overwhelming, all the information that's available online, but try to dive in and start looking at some of those things and see what might be a good fit for you. There's tons of great podcasts, tons of great YouTube channels. Just kind of see what appeals to you and just kind of go for it. Because even if something doesn't work at first, you can figure out then from where to go, but you just kind of have to start. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Jewish stuff category of questions. Okay. 1. Any book or website recommendations for a Reformed Jew who is looking to become more observant but is currently living in a very Christian Central American country where the nearest Jewish organization is a Chabad house 2 countries away? Okay, that is unfortunate that you don't have a Chabad house closer to you. I feel like they're everywhere. So, but I guess not quite everywhere. Okay, I don't know of a good book to recommend. I think that there's a book called like Judaism for Dummies. Unfortunate title, but I've heard it's an excellent book and it's come recommended to me by a Kiruv rabbi whose job is to reach out to Jews who are less religious and interested in becoming more religious and helping them along that journey. As far as a website, the Chabad website is amazing. I'm not Chabad myself, but I refer to their website literally on a weekly basis because the information there is so solid and there's just so much good information there, and it's really easy to use and filter by topic and kind of dive into what you're looking for. There are also different organizations like URA or Partners in Torah where you could be paired up with a partner to learn together over the phone. So that might be another option that you would consider looking into as well. Next question, best advice for someone who wants to convert that lives in a location where there is a very small Jewish community. There is no rabbi and the synagogue is not used. Thanks for any advice. Okay, if you're interested in converting to Judaism, you most likely will have to move. As an Orthodox conversion, it's my understanding that is like always a requirement that you do need to live in a Jewish community and be part of a Jewish community. So you may have to move. But I guess the first step is just reaching out and finding a rabbi who does conversions and who is able to work with you. Not all rabbis do conversions, and rabbis who do conversions often have to have a limit on how many they can do because it's not their full-time job. It's just something they're kind of doing extra in addition to their regular work. So they get, they often have to turn people away just because they don't have the capacity to work with as many people as want to work with them. But I would suggest finding a city that you might be interested in moving to and trying to find a rabbi at that location so that you did need to move, it would be somewhere where you would be interested in moving to. Okay, next question. What is your advice for starting to observe znut and wearing a tichel? I've started taking baby steps and I've already gotten pushback from coworkers, etc. I'm really sorry that you're getting pushback for that. I think znut, that's just like the Hebrew word for like that we use in English, like when we're discussing modesty. So for a woman, that's like wearing the skirts and covering the elbows and the collarbones and things like that. I know for some of my friends who've more recently started hair covering and things like that, they were able to more easily make the shift when they ended up switching jobs somewhere else. So they stopped working one place and just started wearing the sheitel going forward at the new place. That's definitely not an option for everyone, but I know that they had a much smoother transition doing it that way than trying to make the changes at the place where they were currently working. As far as advice, there's a lot of really good books out there that you could read on hair covering and snoots. Any of the Jewish bookstores usually have like a category of like women's interests, and then often filter down even more to topics of snoot or hair covering. And you could look on there and find some books that might be interesting, and that might help give you the chizuk, the strength to carry on with what you're doing, because it's amazing and I encourage you to keep going. It's awesome what you're doing. All right, next question. What was one of the largest challenges in becoming from? Wow. There's so many challenges. There really are. So for me, probably one of the biggest challenges of becoming from, which means like becoming religious, would probably be like food. Because that's a hard one, the food. Clothing was a lot easier for me. Hair covering was pretty easy for me. Not every day, but for the most. But yeah, I think it was the food. And that's not a problem for me now. It's not an issue for me now, but like as I was growing into it, I think it was for sure that was a big challenge for me because, you know, sometimes you just want to go out and grab some fast food, which I haven't had now in like 13 years. And just being able to go to the grocery store and buy whatever you want without really paying attention, you know, like it's hard. It can be hard. So yeah, I would probably say keeping kosher. Okay, next question. As a Jewish woman, are there times when you are required to go to shul? Shul is another word for synagogue. Yes, there are a couple of times a year that women are required to go to the synagogue. There is a couple of lines that we need to hear from the weekly Torah portion. I'm totally blanking on the name of it right now, but it's right before a holiday. I'm totally blanking on the whole thing. I'll try to like look it up and like type it in here at the bottom of the screen or something for you guys. But yeah, there are a couple lines we need to hear. A lot of women will go to hear the shofar blown during the high holidays. I usually hear that at home. My husband will do it for me at home, so I don't have to go. A lot of women don't have that option, so they will go for that. Then I can't really think of anything else where we're really required to go. Men are required to go like all the time. So that's really nice that we're not required to go all the time. Okay, next question. How does the warming tray work for Shabbat? All right, there were actually several questions on this. We use a hot plate. It's a warming tray, but I don't know why we call it a hot plate, because when I say hot plate, I think of like a little hot plate you'd have in like a college dorm that could like boil water. Our hot plate, it's a warming tray. It doesn't actually boil water, but anyways, we call it a hot plate. Okay, I think the Yiddish word is blech. So anyways, this is a thing that plugs into the wall and we set it on a timer so that it's not coming on the entire day of Shabbat. So Friday night to Saturday night. So basically what happens is it comes on the timer, maybe like around 10:30 in the morning. I can put the food on top before I go to shul, to the Beit Knesset, to the synagogue. And then by the time I get home for lunch, our food is warm. It hasn't cooked my food. My food is already fully cooked before I put it on there. It's just warming it up so that I can have a hot meal for lunch. And then the timer goes off after lunch and it cools off. We don't have to worry about it the rest of the day till it comes back on again for our third meal. So that's pretty much how it works. Okay, next question. What are you doing for Shavuot? Okay, so for Shavuot, we're making cheesecake. I always make cheesecake for Shavuot. My husband will go and he will learn all night. I don't know if he's doing that here at the house and having a bunch of people over, or if he's gonna go to the synagogue and do it there. That has yet to be determined. We will have meals. We eat meat at our meals. We don't eat dairy at our meals. We eat the cheesecake for breakfast. So that's kind of a fun thing that we do that's a little bit different from most people. Most people do dairy meals for Shavuot. And we will fill the house with flowers, because why not? Okay, next question. Is tribe affiliation still a thing? So there were the 12 tribes. Now I think we're just all really kind of one tribe. So no, tribe affiliation isn't so much of a thing as far as I know. I'm sure if I am wrong, I will be corrected in the comments. So check out there. Next question. I've always wanted to experience the Jewish holidays. As a Christian, would I be welcomed to do so? So if you are wanting to like attend services, I guess, for the holidays, you would definitely want to reach out to your local synagogue and ask them like what's their policy on this. And then there's a lot of security and stuff, especially these days with anti-Semitism. So you would most likely not be welcome to just show up. You would definitely want to call in advance and see what is that synagogue's policy. As far as just like celebrating at home, I guess you could just celebrate at home. Next question. Any chance you'd be a Messianic Jew? No, not a chance. Not a chance. I am Jewish. That is it. I was a Christian. I converted to Judaism after I left Christianity. There is really no chance of me going back. Okay, Next question. Do you find at times that your former Christian beliefs collide or supersede your current Jewish beliefs? I am 100% Jewish, fully on board with Jewish beliefs. That is it. That is it. So yeah, I'm just not Christian and I don't have Christian beliefs. There's not any lingering of that left over. It's just not there. I am a Jew, 100%. Proud of it. Okay, next question. Do you and your family plan to live in Israel one day? I would love to. We would love to. Timing's a little tricky right now. I don't know if you noticed there's a war going on over there. My family tells me they still hear rockets like daily. It's crazy. So jobs are quite probably difficult to get right now, I would assume. Things like that. So it's not exactly an ideal time to move over there. Real estate also I think is really crazy right now. I don't know. It's just right now is not the time, but one day I would love to. Okay, let's move on to some general questions for a few more minutes before I have to wrap this video. Okay, 1, do you have a tornado shelter? I worry so much about you. Thank you, that is so sweet of you. No, we do not have a tornado shelter. Most people around here where I live do not have a tornado shelter, even though we do in fact have tornadoes and crazy storms. Next question, what is the best quote in your life? Okay, so I've got 2. So my original favorite quote, which is worth sharing, is only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. And that is by T.S. Eliot. I used to have that like up on my bulletin board at work. It's a fantastic quote. I used to be an ultra marathoner and an Ironman triathlete. So like that was kind of like my quote for training and pushing myself and with my career and all that sort of thing. Doesn't apply to my life so much now. Now, my favorite quote, I'm actually not sure who it's by, but it's attributed often to the Baal Shem Tov. But it's basically, let me fall if I must, the one I am becoming will catch me. Or let me fall if I must, the one I will become will catch me. I've seen it written both ways. And I just love that so much. And it's like, if I fail, I fail, but I'm gonna come out and be better. Love that whole like growth-centric mindset of even failing. So I just think it's really beautiful. Okay, next question. How are your family in Israel? They're doing good. They're doing good. We talk to them all the time. Next question. What are some of your kids' favorite book series? Okay, Harry Potter, obviously. We love the Harry Potter series. Other series, they love Little House on the Prairie. Absolutely love Little House on the Prairie. Wild Robot's another one that we recently discovered and enjoyed, as well as the Penderwicks. One more that I forgot is The Green Ember. Also, All of a Kind Family. So highly recommend all of those to check out. All right, next question. How has your family coped with the war in Israel and the anti-Semitism? You know, I guess that's just as well as can be expected. You know, one thing about Jews is we do not choose to be victims about anything. So even though these things are occurring and happening to us and around us, just staying strong and living our lives and loving life. We're not going to be victims about it. We're not going to sit and dwell in it. We're just going to keep on moving and doing what we're supposed to do with our lives. And that's it. So yeah, we're doing good. All right, next. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened on a camping trip? And do you have any advice for newbie campers? Get out there and camp. Just do it. Just don't go too far from home. Try a backyard camp out first. Just get out there and do it. Check the weather. Enjoy. The craziest thing that's ever happened on a camp out, I saw a scorpion once next to our tent. That was pretty crazy. Nothing really too crazy has happened. Okay, so my favorite story from when I was a kid, we were camping up in the Shenandoah Mountains and it rained profusely overnight and my tent flooded and I was on an air mattress that I was sleeping on. And so I literally woke up floating on the air mattress because there was like a few inches of water and I thought that was pretty funny. I don't remember it very well, but my mom does and loves to tell that story. I've also been camping in some storms where I've had to like get into the car and sleep in the car. And, you know, so storms are probably like weather is probably the craziest things that have happened on a camping trip. Okay. Next, how do you deal with the nasty comments on YouTube? It actually seems like everyone on your channel is super supportive, but have you ever experienced mean or hurtful comments? How did it affect you? Okay, yes, from the beginning of my channel, but with a huge uptick in the last 6 months, I've experienced a lot of really negative comments. And these are anti-Semitic comments. And then there's just been other really mean and hurtful comments, just people saying really ugly things. People have said really mean things about my children. People have, called me fat or ugly. Honestly, it surprised me from the beginning that the comments really didn't get to me that bad. They really don't. And I don't know why. It must be just because I'm old and I'm over that kind of thing, and I'm very sure of who I am and confident, and I'm okay with me. And if some keyboard warrior is going to sit at home and make ugly comments to a stranger on the internet, they've got way bigger problems than their comment could ever cause me. That said, I do get ugly comments very frequently. Not every day, but I would say probably most days that for sure on a day that I post a video, there's gonna be something, and they happen on YouTube, they happen on Instagram. I'm kind of jumping both of those together as far as the ugly comments. A lot of them come in private messages. So I block these people instantly because I don't want to deal with it. I used to be much more libertarian, and what I left up, I wanted to let people say what they want. Free speech, right? But then I realized that it was really bothering a lot of other people who come to my channel because it is a happy place and they want it to be a happy place. And I also want it to be a happy place. And I'm pulling up my comments to see what I need to respond to, and there's some comment saying something really ugly to me or about my family or about Israel or anything like that, I don't want to see that either. So I just go ahead and delete the comment and block the person so that they can't talk anymore. And that's just the way that it is, because this is my little corner of the internet and I'm going to keep it a happy place. Okay, next question. What is a special treat that you don't get very often? Probably ice cream. I've recently started treating myself to an ice cream every Friday night. We don't eat meat for dinner on Friday night, so I can have a little dish of ice cream after our dinner on Shabbat. And I think that's just a fantastic way to start off Shabbat, by having a little ice cream. So yeah, I've been doing that, but I would say I don't get it super often because I don't do it every week. So I'm maybe once every couple weeks I'm getting it. And yeah, it's just a special little treat. Okay, next question. How is Bella's training going? And a ton of you guys asked about Bella. So this will be our last question today. But Bella's training is really on pause right now. As far as just how she's living here in the house, she's an awesome dog. She's doing fantastic. She is no longer doing all of the issues she had when we got her, as far as she would jump up and she would nip your cheek, and it was really not good. So anyway, she's so much better now. She doesn't jump anymore. She doesn't nip at people or anything. She's such a good dog, and we're so happy that we invested the time and the funds into training her and having her well trained. We're so thrilled. As far as her training for diabetes, that has really been put on pause. I do not currently have the ability to consistently work with her on that. So it's better just to not do it. She would love to do it. She has alerted on her own, which is fantastic. And I think she'd be a great diabetes dog. And I do hope to pick up that training with her one day. But right now, it's just not in the cards. Okay, so that's the last question that we're going to do here for today, but I will plan another Q&A video. We'll do something else next week, and then I'll do another Q&A video to wrap up some more of these questions. Thank you to everybody so much who submitted these questions. You guys are awesome. These are such fun questions to answer, and I love doing these Q&As. Feel free to drop any follow-up questions down below, or just say hi. Your comments really help my channel out a lot. And hit that like button, give this video that thumbs up. That helps me out as well. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you here again. All right, and with that, we are done. Thank you all again so much for being here. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in my next upload.